Hello, everybody. It is New Year's Eve, a good 3 hours before New Year's Day, and people are lighting fireworks in the neighborhood already. So we're setting my scale up because my coin dealer said he had a coin coming. Well, he had a couple, but this one, and I made a video about this, and in it I wasn't sure about the lettering on the edge of the coin, which went online since then and seen that it says a half a dollar, 50 cents, or half a dollar. So this particular coin is in 1831. Oh, Aunt Laura, they're already lighting fireworks in our neighborhood. Can you believe that? It's 3 hours plus before New Year's Day. Well, my coin dealer told me he was going to have this on Saturday. And it was Friday when I went there. Or Thursday, I mean. It's a 50-cent coin from 1831. It's supposed to weigh 13.48 grams. It's a little worn. It's a little light, and my scale may not be exactly up to snuff. Oh, they're lighting them there too? Wonderful, right? But if I put this on grains, this particular coin is supposed to be about 208 grains, give or take. We put it on there and we're coming up with 204 grains, or 13.48 grams. Now, you don't know, these are slightly bigger and heavier than modern 50-cent coins. And yeah, your dogs are thrilled, I bet. Anyway, he said he would have this in a trade dollar. Now, the trade dollar was a lot more than this, and it was probably in a little bit better shape. This is probably right around very good to fine, maybe very fine. One thing I have seen on these, and this is the first one I've had in my hands closely, sometimes the striking quality across like that. Old country coin collector, how you doing? Yeah, they're lighting fireworks in our neighborhood already. But what I was saying is the strike quality across these coins, sometimes you'll have a pretty sharp, nice looking detail like this one, but have a spot where the detail is very weak. This one appears to be fairly well struck all the way around. So it's kind of happy to get it. And it pings good, looks good, looks right. Got the lettering on the side like they're supposed to have. So everything about this tells me this is 100% legit. Now, when your walkers like this are worn out pretty far, coming up with 178.2 grains, and we'll put this back on grams, should be 12 and a half, right? Well, not worn out that much. 11.56. But anyway, whenever you buy a coin like this, you want to do some tests and look it over real well. And it's already dirty and handled, and I don't see any real fingerprints on it or nothing, but people have handled this coin. It's circulated a lot. So it's not going to hurt it to come out of the holder, which it doesn't quite fit in anyway. They put them in a regular 50-cent holder, and it's a little bit bigger across, just 32.5 millimeters And these are, I think, 30.7, so it's too big for the holder. It needs to go in a dollar holder. And then I'll have a little loose around the edges, but at least you'll be able to see the whole coin. But I was, when I opened it up and looked at this, I didn't realize they wrote 50 cents or a $half around on the rim of these. I thought, they were just reeded like any other US coin pretty much is, but they're not. That's different. But I mean, I done a video assessing it. There are a couple little nicks in the field over here, but this is just pretty much, you can see him right there between the stars and the eyes, like she's looking right at it. That little divot, scratch, pop mark. There's a few scratches across the face too, and it's worn a little, you know. But a mint state one like this would be very expensive. It wasn't exactly cheap, but you're not going to get a coin this old and this nice real cheap. I mean, even circulated some, it's probably going to be, I'm not circulated some, but worn all the way down to where all you have is basically, all this is flat and very few details are left. It's still probably going to be a $30 coin. But I did also go ahead and buy this, another supposedly uncirculated mercury dime, which, to tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure that I would say it's totally uncirculated. It might be something along the lines of about AU 50 something. Most of the mint luster appears to still be on the coin, so it's higher than lower. From what I understand, that's how you judge your mint luster on an AU coin. AU 50 will have breaks in it. Again, if you have staples that aren't flat and you don't want to scrape other coins when you put it away, this is one I'm going to put away and keep. Some of the other ones I got that are, worn quite a bit, they might be trade stuff where I take them and trade them for a better coin, in the future. You got an 1830, and Aunt Laura has an 1833, and she says that's a nice one. Sweet. Well, how in the heck did that stuff get up on my? There's some ad for finding like a dating scene on my chat, and I'm not going to share it. But sometimes when I go on my videos, that'll be on my comments, and they get blocked right away because you want to find out about dating websites. You don't have to go to a coin collectors type channel and to find that. I mean, it's there. You can find it. This particular bar this year was involved in a little bit of drama, as when it got stuck in my safe in a corner underneath the hinge where it fit perfectly, and you couldn't find it. So that has happily been found. Of course, I've had it for a while found, but anyway, I don't know how accurate this scale I have really is, but the top of it's pretty neat. I think that's a kind of cool looking. It says "Punk's Not Dead," and he's got like a fiery hair mohawk and a British flag. It's not made. It's made in China, of course. Tested to comply with FCC standards. What standards could that be? FCC deals with broadcasting on radio. A skill, I don't see where that factors in. But this year I did get another bar, a Morgan dollar design bar from HM. which someone told me what that means, but Highland Mint maybe. They put a little sticker on the back, and there's a little residue left up here at the top. Word to the future wise, if you're selling silver bars in the plastic holders, put a sticker on it with the price that peels off real easy without residue, or just have it a paper card saying these are $28 today, or whatever price you're selling them for. But it's another silver bar, which this is also silver, although it's gold plated. And they're supposed to weigh 1 ounce, but I don't know how accurate this scale really is. I mean, you turn it on, you take the 50 gram, and you set it on there, and it says 50. So it reads right, but when you put a silver bar like this on here, and you select ounce, it should say 10. This does have gold plating on it, and it's very heavy. Maybe that's can't be the gold. It's probably just it's not real accurate. This one I don't know what it'll read because it is in plastic. And it reads somewhere in the same neighborhood. So I don't really trust the scale's accuracy to be perfect. So we'll go back to grams. Silver dollar like this should be 26.73. And it's 26.61, so it's pretty close to what it should be. But the accuracy on this is supposed to be to like maybe a tenth or some sort, a couple tenths. So I don't put too much on whether or not it's totally accurate. And if you want that, you better buy a little bit better particular scale than that one is. Got to check something real quick. Okay. While I was over here messing around, someone left a message on my one of my videos, and I wanted to see what video it was. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go live tonight, but I didn't go live last weekend because I had a bit of a cold. I feel better now, but I want to thank you for stopping by, and Old Country Coin Collector for stopping by. There's another person, but I don't know who's really watching because there's only comments from you and Old Country Coin Collector and Aunt Laura, plus that other thing, which isn't even a person. I'm going to go ahead and block them on my channel if they've left a comment somewhere. But I'm very happy to have gotten this coin. And I got there first, and the whole time I was there, nobody else that buys coins showed up. This does have a pretty nice detail left on it. I quite like this. It's an older coin, but anybody want to guess how much I paid for it? How much do you think you should pay for one that looks like this? Because I don't see them very often, I can tell you that right now. I almost never see them. I mean, my coin dealers had 4 or 5 bust half dollars in the past few months, but other than that, I mean, the one guy who was on South 7th had quite a few of them, but he's a little higher priced, but he's no longer around, so we can't go there anymore. I don't know how much longer I want to go tonight, because after all, it is New Year's Eve, and I know there's going to be some craziness tonight. I just know it. Oh well. What can you do about it? Maybe this booklet says what kind of tolerance this is supposed to have. Um, I don't know. Maybe it. I think it said somewhere, but calibration tells you how to calibrate it with the 50-gram weight, which is just a piece of metal that weighs 50 grams. Doesn't really say on this, but I thought it did say somewhere what it was tolerance to. It shows down to 100th on it, but I don't think it weighs out that way. And I'm not sure it has a penny weight option on it either. Because generally speaking, if you go to pawn shop or anywhere and want to sell something like this gold band, they'll measure it by penny weight. DWT, that's not penny weight. CT, and grains. Well, it's 61.2 grains for the old wedding band, and it's about 2.5 penny weight according to the jeweler guy in town, who told me how much he would pay for a ring like that if I wanted to sell it. It ain't enough. I paid more for it back when I bought it than what I can sell it for today, even though gold is like probably 6 or 7 times what it was back then. So to buy one like this at a jewelry shop, I've seen some similar to it. They want like $7.99 for them. They're not that valuable in terms of how much gold it is. It's 14 carats, so it's not that great. But anyway, and this bar is coated with 24 karat. It's 1 ounce fine silver, 3 nines. It says somewhere on here, and it tests out to. I took it to a guy who had a Sigma. He tested out the 3 nines, which is what it's supposed to be. So I don't have any fear that it's not actually a silver bar, even though the weight doesn't seem right. But like I said, this scale may not be totally calibrated properly, or just not accurate enough down to the nitty gritty. Anyway, been live for a little while. Someone's still out there, so who's out there right now? Say hello in the chat. And then I'll give you credit for stopping by and watching the live stream. Oh, I didn't put the weight up. No one's commenting. All right. Well, anyway, I've talked about what I wanted to talk about tonight for the most part. I want to wish everybody a happy new year and hope that it's a better year than we've had in several, because it's not been that great. Oh, it's just Aunt Laura still. Well, thanks, Aunt Laura, for sticking around. Did you happen to get any more coin glass items? I did watch your video. I like your pieces that you had. And this is a toothpick holder or a cigarette urn. It's not very big, but they're pretty neat, though. I quite like them. And I don't know if you've seen this before in one of my live streams. I hold this glass piece up. It's kind of orangish. And you can see how it turns those stickers back there into like a kaleidoscope. You're welcome. You're going to get a toothpick holder? Do you know where one is? Because AG Stacker told me he ain't seen one of these around where he lives. Uh, there's a guy down on in a vendor place that's got about, I think it's four of them. One ruby red. Yeah, this is kind of a neat effect how these little gemstones do this. Now, this one I bought from Amazon. And oh, yeah, you can find them on eBay pretty easy. In fact, I saw one that had an amber color like this, and you got, I think it was a small ashtray, and they wanted $10. I don't know what the shipping was, but yeah, this makes a pretty neat effect when you hold it up like this and turn it a little bit, and then if you hold a Morgan dollar behind it, that's pretty neat too. Um, but this one is a little bit bigger. I quite like it. Oh, there's several different shops, and I went by this one, and he told me that he would look around. He was going somewhere. Yeah. Let's see if I can get better light on the Morgan dollar. As I turn the stone, it does that. Now, these little bitty ones are made out of acrylic, and they do catch light, but they're too small to make much of an effect. They don't weigh nothing either, you know. But I got a whole bunch of them from Dollar Tree, both in the red and the clear. They had some blue ones, but I didn't buy them because I don't use them in my videos too much anymore. And nose is starting to run a little bit. Hope I ain't coming down with something again already because I just got over the previous one. But I do want to thank Frosty, old country coin collector, and AG Stacker 1776 for sending me stickers and a few, other things that are really neat. We'll have another quick look at this. It says 4 people are watching right now. I don't know this, and now it's 3, but 1831 capped bust $50. I think the details on the back look a little bit better in the front to me. Little, just a little wear, flatten out of all the high spots. Dad learning coins. That is nice. Hello, Dad learning coins. I don't think I've seen you in my chat before, so welcome. And my coin dealer said he had one of these and he was going to bring it in on Saturday when I went there Thursday. So I got there first, and that is my advice to you. If you talk to your coin dealer sometime and he tells you, yeah, I'm going to bring some new coins in on Saturday or something, and you want to have a chance to buy them, you got to get there first. Just get there first, and then you get a chance. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Cool. Because if you get there first, this kind of coin, if I didn't get there first, someone else probably would have bought it. There's a guy that's been buying a bunch of these lately. And I'm like, I have to buy one of them eventually. I can't let him just keep buying them. You know, pretty good details left on this one. The stars around the edge. And it does say on the rim of the coin says 50 cents or I think that's or a half a dollar, which when I bought it, I didn't realize they had lettering around the rim, but they do. I looked it up online, and this one's got a divot over there in the field and what looks like a divot by that star, or something stuck to the coin. I didn't notice that earlier, but these things get circulated and they're really old. I mean, you're talking 190 years old. So it's like closing in on 200, far older than Morgan Dollar like this, which is 1921, this is 90 years older. And if you don't know Dad Learning Coins, this is a little bit bigger than a modern 50-cent piece. A little bit bigger across and weighs about a gram more when they're not, when they're not worn out. They're supposed to be 13.48 grams, and these started at 12 and a half. Of course, these are 90%, and this is 89.2 according to what I saw online, and 10.2% copper or so. They made 5.8 million of them this year, but I doubt that many of them are around still. I wouldn't know, but generally speaking, a lot of these older coins, at least half are gone. The history worn out to the point of nothing left, or lost at sea, or lost out in the Old West, wherever they would go. So it's just one of those kind of things that, and then sometimes the strike quality in these isn't always the greatest. They didn't have quite the quality control they have today, and they struck some of these so far beyond what the coin die could take, and they struck them until they broke probably some years. But I would say if 1 million of these still exist for this year, I'd probably be a little bit surprised. I don't know how many do, but it's general rule. A lot, Morgan dollars, all the 1878 to 1904, they melted about 270 million or some such for the British. That's where the peace dollar came from. They had to strike more silver coins, and that's where the 21, like this one is, came from as well. They had to strike a whole bunch due to the Pittman Act to replace all of the silver dollars they melted. So that's why they made peace dollars, and they made a lot of them to replace all the Morgans that got melted. But I'm going to hope everybody has a good new year, and I don't want to stay on too much longer because I think all the celebrations going to start pretty soon, and people are going to be watching the ball drop on TV or whatever else they want to do. They probably ain't going to be too interested in watching coin videos too much longer. So I hope that everybody does have a better new year than last 3 or 4 years have been, because it's not been that great for the most part. I don't really have a whole lot more to talk about tonight because that coin and this mercury dime is all I bought. I don't know. A pretty nice mercury dime like this is about the going rate for them. Whether or not it's totally uncirculated, I couldn't really begin to tell you. It doesn't really look too worn. And they did have lower quality strike problems with these too, where they didn't fill out all the details quite as sharp as they probably meant. At least that's what I've read online. So it could be fully uncirculated. You'd have to really look at the mint luster across all the surfaces, and also look at them real close and see if anything's flattened. I've got several of these that are like this. I have one I bought just the other day. It's 3 1/4 and looked better than one he wrote uncirculated on. It just had a better appearance. Some of them are dull. This one's kind of a little bit frosty with pretty good mint luster spirals on it. Cartwheels, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice looking one. I felt $6. Why not? You know, this though, there's nothing left on it. Hardly any details. The date's almost gone. I can see an 8 and what looks like a 1, but okay, cool. Nice toned mercury. I have a quarter that's got like a crescent moon in blues and purples. That's on my, shorts somewhere. It's pretty nice looking, actually. I might make a new video because it's kind of like went away. But that's the kind of toning I like the best, especially on a Morgan dollar. If you've got one that's got like a crescent type moon toning where it's dark purple, blue, that kind of stuff, I like that. Some of the ones that are toned all across the entire coin, I'm not that big on, but your 21 Morgan dollars all have a specific look to them. And for those who don't know that story, they're going to make the peace dollar, but they couldn't get that design going quick enough. So somebody apparently said, "Why don't we make more Morgan dollars then?" And he's like, they looked for the dies, they couldn't find any. So someone had to make new dies for Morgan dollars for the 21s. And the way they made them was different. So it didn't come out quite the same. It looks a little different. And the chest part on the eagle is a little flatter than, in the overall design is a little flatter than most of the, the all the ones from about 1879 all the way through 1904 were all more rounded. Because the first year the eagle's chest was kind of flat, and then I guess they didn't like that. And they also had some with 8 tail feathers, which someone, I guess, looked at an eagle and said they have an odd number of tail feathers. So this looks weird to have an even number. So I think that's why they got rid of the 8 tail feathers. But this one isn't an 8 tail feather one since it's a 21. But did get a second silver bar this year, 1 ounce. I need to get a 10-ounce one sometime, but I'm going to be saving up for something like that. Maybe at the next coin show, they'll have one at a decent price, and I'll be able to get one, a 10-ounce or maybe a 5-ounce. They're about the size of a Zippo lighter, but since a Zippo lighter is made out of steel and not very dense, don't weigh nothing. But 10-ounce bar in your hands is deceptive if you've never held a 10-ounce bar, or if you've never held a 100-ounce bar. Because I went to a coin show a couple years ago, and the guy had a 100-ounce bar, and he said, "You want to hold it?" I said, "Sure." It's deceptively heavy. It's kind of thick, bigger than a playing card, but not super large. Probably no bigger than this bank bag. I don't even think it's that big. They're about, I think, 3 by 5 by about 3/4, ½ inch to 3/4, somewhere around there for a 100-ounce one. And, it's pretty dense metal, so 100 ounces, it feels really heavy for what the size is. That's what I was getting at. Of course, Morgan dollars, you hold several of these in your hand, it starts to get to be heavy. Then you start thinking, well, what if you had a pocket full of these, about 15 or 20? You'd notice it all day long because they're pretty heavy. Now, these Churchill coins are copper nickel. They never made any silver versions. I wish they would have made some silver ones, but they didn't. And it's 1965. They issued this after his death. And Queen Elizabeth's on here, and now she's gone too. So I did see some of the new British coins and other, the Empire or Commonwealth countries issued some coins for 2023 already, and some of them still have Elizabeth on it. Supposed to transition to King George later, but he's not super popular with the people. And I think the people would probably be like, just keep putting Queen Elizabeth on there, we won't complain. New Zealand made a video for a couple New Zealand coins. This is one of them. The other one's a 50 cents, I think. But one of these Churchill coins? Yeah, I got about 25 of them probably. They're not worth much. My coin dealer sells them to me for 50 cents a piece usually. Although he did have some in his big world coins for 20 cents a piece. But I bought a lot of this kind of coins from big British pennies with Britannia. And then, of course, Australian kangaroo from 51. They have an Australian 1 ounce silver round coin, whatever, that has a kangaroo on it. They also make the kookaburras, which they want a lot more money than the kangaroo one is. King George VI. Yes, I do. I don't know if I have any real handy, but I do have. I wonder where they are exactly. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get to them real quick. Oh. Whoops. That ain't good on the case. Well, what can you do? Well, that capsule got busted. $19.21. Oh yeah, the 1916. There's only 52,000 were minted. Very rare and very expensive. But you can get. This is a decent shape 1921. It's Philadelphia. All of the peace dollars were Philadelphia. It's circulated some. There might be a hair bit of mint luster around some areas, but it's a high relief one. The 22, they went with a little bit lower relief because the high relief's hard to strike. But there's a 1921 peace dollar. Now, the guy who has the jewelry store and he deals in coins, he has a 28, which is probably detail-wise maybe about the same as this one. How much do you think that would cost? The 1916 Standing Liberty. This will probably one this good. This will cost you over 100, maybe 150, depending on who you buy it from. Let's look at the red book and see what it says. I don't even know because I know they're so rare. You're not gonna almost ever be able to buy one. $quarter. Let's go back to Standing Liberty. All right. If it'll focus for us. Good for $2,300. This is a 2019, I think, red book. Oh, 2018. I don't know if that price is much different these days, but if it'll focus, Come on. It's the only problem with this. Sometimes it doesn't want to. There we go. Very good 8, 4,000. Fine, 5,200. Very fine, 27,000. If you're buying any of these 16s, I'd probably recommend graded ones. That's what this red book really means. If you go to a coin shop and he has a loose one that isn't graded, probably be a little bit less than what these prices are. Mint State 63, that says 15,000. So if you're going to get, the 21 piece, hold on. That would be nice to get that one. That's an expensive one if I remember correctly. Or one of the more expensive ones. Let's see, half dollars. Trade bust. I'll go past all the barbers. If you win the lottery, I'll get a nice 1960. Should be able to if you can find one on sale. The 21 piece dollar. If I remember correctly, the coin dealer I bought this from had it and had a price of 130 bucks on it and took $5 off, so I bought it for 125. Yeah, the 21 and 21D the walkers are pretty expensive. Let's see what this says. Well, there's your reason. Come on, focus on the damn minute. 21 Philly 246, 21D 208. And you see that good for price 175 or 250. The S Mint 21 isn't quite as bad. About a little bit more than twice as many of them were minted than the other two combined. It's still a $48 coin according to this in good for. There are no 1922s. And after the 23S, there are no until 27, which I didn't realize that. Yeah, except for the Morgan dollars. 21 Morgan dollars are common as dirt. The 21 dime, I have a 21. It was 25 bucks. It's kind of worn, beat up a little bit, might even be bent. I don't remember if it's the D or the P or what it is, but it's a 1921. Now, I did drop my capsule and it cracked. So I've had this in a capsule to try to keep fingerprints off of it. It'll probably still snap shut. It may not be totally airtight, but I keep it in a capsule just so I don't fingerprint it too much, even though I don't know if the fingerprints will show up too much on a circulated coin. Not quite the same it would as a proof or a mint state one. You want to be careful handling those by the rim. Some people say use gloves, but other people say don't use gloves because apparently the cotton can cause problems too. I don't know. I prefer to handle them by the edge and be careful with them. So when I handle Morgan dollars, this is a 21. It's been circulated. I usually try to always handle it by the rims. So, and any other coin that's somewhat valuable, I try to only hold it by the rims. But this one, I don't think fingerprints will show up too much on it because it's already worn quite a bit. But I was happy to get it anyway. It wasn't as much as the piece dollar, but it was still not a cheap coin. What else to talk about? Yeah, if you find a 21 that looks about like this, but you can make out the 2 and 1 over here, but it's worn out quite a bit, you might be able to get it a bit cheaper. But one that's in, full rim, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. The 21 dime I have I wonder if I can get that out real quick. I know where it is. It's just a matter of pulling the box out. And you'll get to see it. And then I'll get to remember which one it is. Now, go back here in this box. I bought a couple Mercury dimes out of here. The 31S is a little bit of a better date one too, as this price reflects. And the condition's pretty nice on it. But the 21, I guess, is a Philadelphia. I couldn't remember. And see, it's $25. I don't know how well I'll be able to get the date pulled up. I can see it. It's a 21 Philadelphia. And it does look like it might be slightly bent. Kind of hard to tell. Looks like it might be bent. The rim is starting to go away, and that's why even on the back anyway, and maybe a little bit on the front. But it's a Philadelphia one. It's probably not too bad of a price considering it's pretty worn. If it was better, I have a 1916 Denver dime. You mean the Mercury dime? That's a very key date one, very expensive. I know they made some. Thank you. I know they made some barber dimes from 2016 too, I believe. But if you mean the 1916 Denver Mercury dime, yeah, that's probably a pretty expensive coin, or it should have been. I mean, but here's a for instance for you, and you might have seen this because I was showing it the other day. This 39. We'll pull up the. This is a sparkling example. This is a pretty high grade 1939D. If you had a 1916D that looked like this, can you imagine how much this would be worth? Because this is barely got any marks, scratch, a few little scratches and stuff, not hardly anything. And that middle band is on there. And it's pretty solid across there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this, but probably not. It's kind of hard to make this out. Of course, if you watch this on a full-size TV, this dime will be huge. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if one exists that's in this kind of shape for the 1916D. I don't even know what this would actually grade and whether or not it would grade cleaned or not, because it's always something to be fearful about a coin like this if you're trying to grade it. If the grading company thinks it's been cleaned, then you'd have a problem because, and this is too common a date anyway. It wouldn't be worth, even if it went like 66 or something, maybe even 67, it still wouldn't be super valuable. Probably would hardly be worth more than the cost of the coin plus the grading cost. I don't think. It's not really that rare a date, but it's a nice looking one. I mean, I'd have to say this is my nicest Mercury dime I have. Wasn't cheap at $18 though, which might be too much for this, but I bought it anyway just because I wanted it. All right. 1917, that's got a little damage, and it's on the back. But when you get a 1916 or a 1917. The Type 1, there's no stars below the eagle. Um, you get one that is later, like this one. It's a 1920 Type 2. Stars under the eagle. That's how you tell at a moment's glance, because they changed that almost immediately. Now, when you talk about 1916, this is another one of those what if it was a different year. This is a 1930S. But imagine if this was a 1916D in this kind of shape. It would be a very expensive coin. This has got just a little wear on it. Coin dealer said it was AU, but it's a pretty nice one. I like this coin a lot. It wasn't cheap, but you won't get a better standing Liberty quarter like this that's an AU or so real cheap. Most of them are pretty expensive. Highest grade 16 is a mint state 63, and it costs 20,000. We'll go ahead and put that up because I didn't know what the best example went for and how much it was. Let's go ahead and work this back where it was. By the way, that said $78 for that AU one. This one says it's very fine, same year, same mint. S mint, 1930, with not real bad details left. $11. This one was 78, although he took $3 off. Different guys, different handwriting. That's the difference between very fine, and then you got a choice very fine, and then AU, and then mint state. Mint state on these, on the common date ones, start around 150 or so, maybe a little higher. Yeah, it is a dream coin. I couldn't begin to tell you how much I'd like to have one, but you got to have a lot of money to buy those. But then again, you start talking about some of these. Let me pull out one. Barber dimes, quarters, half dollars. Yeah, I've got some. Anyway, I'm talking about Barber. Mint state Barber coins are almost impossible to find. They just got circulated so much. This is a 1909 O, which the O's down there. The 1909 O quarter was a really pretty low mintage and quite expensive, although this wasn't a cheap one. Let's go back here a second. You said Carson City. Hold on. Let's throw this back where it was, 1909. Oh, wait. That wasn't where it was. That'll be fine. Well, no, I can move it back. Carson City dimes or otherwise. Yeah, very fine versus a fine, more common, probably. This is a 1910, 950, a lot cheaper. Let's work that back in where it was. And different coin dealer. This is supposedly extra fine. Not a professional grader. It might be slightly clean. It's got a dark toning on it. But it has really good details left for these. And these wear out. But you said Carson Cities. Well, if you watch New Silver Stacker's channel, you will see that I generously gave him a Carson City dime. These are kind of worn. This is a 75 with Carson City in the reef. Some of them are below, but this one's in. This one's a little bit better overall. It's a 75. Same deal. The CC's in the middle. The middle isn't as struck as well as this one, but this one's scratched pretty bad. But they're both Carson Cities. And neither one of them was super cheap, but they won't be. We go back. Put these back where they were, 75. CC in between the S and Philly. All right. Went to my one coin dealer. This one's got a pinched dent in it. Scratch. 76. Carson City's on the bottom underneath the reef. $8. Even though it's damaged, I'm like, I'm buying a Carson City dime for $8. But I got better ones than that one. All right. Another 1876 one, and kind of worn. They said good, full rim, looks like good to me. If I can get it to focus and the light to hit it right, you'll see the CC underneath the reef. There we go. I gave New Silver Stacker one of these. Not quite as good as this one probably, but not damaged like this one. Now, 76, pretty nice. This is very good define range. It's got good details left on it. The CC's underneath the reef. It's pretty nice. 75s, well, the one was $18, I think. And I think it was $18. 22, sorry. And the other one was 35. The guy had one for 100 at that coin show, but it was, $100. I wanted to get other coins, so I didn't buy it, but a friend of mine did. I actually pointed it out to him that the guy has Carson City dimes, so he walked on down there and bought it. I was like, I'm leading him to his ruin. There's one. Someone says find a very fine range. It's a 77 Philadelphia. And full Liberty on it. Pretty nice. But you asked about Carson City. So we go back a little further. And, sometimes they're slightly damaged. You can get one with pretty good details left on them. Cheap. It's got a good scratch there. But $5.50 for a seated Liberty dime that's got this much detail left on it, I'm going to buy it anytime I see them for only $5.50. All right. Let's go back to the quarters a second. Several 1891s, fairly common year. In fact, I've got what looks like 1891. Looks like 5 different 1891 dimes. All right. Here's one you don't see too often, the 20-cent piece. The last Carson City in this box. 76 quarter. Almost good to good. If I get the light hit it right and the focus to go, you make out this Carson City on it. So Yeah, I've got a few Carson Cities, and I've got a Carson City GSA box quarter, or not quarter, but dollar, Morgan dollar, and a couple other Morgan dollars that were Carson City, but they're worn out quite a bit. Now, seeded half dollars. This one they put very good define range, which I'm not really disagreeing too much with. Liberty's mostly visible. If it was fully visible, it'd probably be a solid fine. And that's probably why he's going on. Half dollar, Eagle. Really nice looking one. 65 bucks. And I think he might have knocked $5 off it. But sometimes you find some that are worn really bad, like this. 73 with arrows, which is barely, probably AG at best. And if it had any mint mark. Hello, Silver Skull. How you doing? The 73 with arrows, seated Liberty half dollar. My guess is it's AG at best. $14 though for a seated Liberty half dollar. That's not a bad price. Now, the 20-cent piece I was talking about. 1875. This is the S, which is the most common of these. This did not last long. They did not make these very long at all. The 20-cent coin. This is 20 cents right there. I got to get the light on it quite right. You can read the 20 cents easier than if the light hits it right. You can read 20. They made them only a couple years, a few. Oh, the 20-cent coin? Yeah. Well, words of the wise. Even though this is worn out pretty bad, what do you think this is going to cost? It's the most common year of them, but it's still not very common. And there's your answer. 115. Although I think he took $5 off of it. Which I bought a lot of nicer coins from that guy, so he started giving me, $5 off here and there. Sometimes if I bought 2 or 3 coins, he'd round it off to the nearest 5 or something, which is I thought was pretty nice of him to do. This goes before the first quarter and after the last dime. Now, given the fact that the 91 was the last year for the dimes. 91. This is an old mint one, which is the O's down there. This is a Philadelphia that doesn't look real bad. It's scratched a little bit, but it does have some details left on it. And the back probably might look a little better. I don't know. There's another 91, which is toned darker, but less problems with the details. There's more details on it. $13 wasn't real expensive. These were all bought from, well, these two were bought from one dealer. This is bought from another dealer. This S mint, which is just about worn up all the way, was only $5 though. And the S is there. As you can see, it's pretty well gone. This one was $7. And it might be a little bit better detail left on it. It's a 91, scratched and stuff, but $7, not real expensive for this. I think it might be a little bit better than that one is in terms of where it is. But that's 1891 coins, which is the last year of the seeded. Yeah, that one $1/2 for $14. 73, I think it was. Yeah, it was pretty nice. We'll pull it back out. And I think you mean this one. You probably wouldn't be able to get it much cheaper anywhere. Yeah, Happy New Year's to you. And I probably ought to be going here pretty soon myself, but I'm having fun. And people are watching, people are commenting, so we might go a little bit longer. But thanks, Old Country Coin Collector. And by the way, anybody that's watching don't know his channel, you should go check his channel out. He sent me this awesome sticker, and he recently sent me a Buffalo nickel too, so that was pretty cool. Of course, I sent him a Barber quarter and there we go, a Franklin $50, which he said he didn't have either one of them, so I helped him out. I don't mind helping people out sometimes when you can. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? I'm going to pull this up again. For anybody that's watching now, wasn't watching earlier. Coin dealer said he's going to have a cap bust $50. Be first. He said he's going to have it Saturday. So I got there first. And I was able to buy it because I was the first person there. Yeah, we had fireworks lit already. But hey, Martin, look at this coin. 50 cents. Capped bust. 1831. Which is awesome. I'm very happy to have gotten this. Wasn't real cheap, but it's a nice coin. And Aunt Laura and Old Country Coin Collector both have cap bust halves, they said. Different years. This is a neat coin. I was very happy to get it. Like I said, if you're a coin dealer, you go talk to him one day, he says, yeah, I got a deal for this coin, I'll bring it in on Saturday or something. And you're interested, get there first. That's all I can tell you. Unless you tell him, well, I'll put a deposit now, and when you bring it in, I'll bring the rest. You could do that too, probably. Nice coin, brother. Thanks. Let's see what you think about this. Don't know if you've seen this one. I probably made a video for it. It's a fairly nice, probably fine range Barber dime. Now these things, I mean, they just left them in circulation. I've heard people, older coin dealers, tell me that their dads were getting these dimes and halves and quarters and stuff in their change still up into the 50s. So these things, they circulated a long time. That's a nice looking Barber dime. And when it comes to Barber halves or quarters, I mean, that's a pretty nice looking one too. I made a video for this one. It is, I like the way the toning looks on it. It's got pretty good detail left on it for these. So this one didn't probably circulate quite as much or as long as a lot of them did. Coin dealer put very good plus, which I'm inclined to probably believe him. $19 though. Problem with these is you just can't really buy them if they're better shaped ones. You're not going to get them real cheap. Not the quarters, not the halves, not even the dimes. Well, this one, as we look at it, likely cleaned. Although with this kind of coin, they probably might be a little more lenient on it because it's circulated. Cement stake type ones that have been dipped or otherwise cleaned, like Morgan dollars, they're really strict on. This particular coin, they might not be as strict about whether it's cleaned or not. because it's not a real high grade coin anyway. I mean, fine isn't super high, but it does appear to have been cleaned, and it got a scratch right out of the nose on the field there. You can see it when I get the light to hit it. Not too bad looking Barber recorder, 1902. The halves, you get one that doesn't look too bad like this. It's about a good. It's an 1906 Owen, which I did make a video for, and a lot of people watched it. So it's not real bad, really. Wasn't super cheap at $20 though, but you can expect to pay a little bit more for these unless they're clean like this one. But for $12, I'm not complaining too much. 1907. Again, this is an old man. I can get the light to hit it. It's not bad. You know, it is circulated some. Let's see. Every time I show this coin, people like it a lot. Philippines 1907S. It's about a half ounce of silver one. The estimate's small right there. Big bold design eagle and shield. This side's very bold. It's a 1 peso, 1907. Hammer on the anvil, volcano, liberty, 1 peso. 0.5144 silver weight. The content, $11. Last time I saw one of these, they were 15. So this was bought a while back when silver was a little bit cheaper than it is now. This probably be about $16 at a coin shop today, maybe a little more. I'm not real sure. It's a nice design. I like these quite a bit. I want to get more of them, but I've only seen 2 at the shops, for years. So apparently they don't come up too often. 1913 Barber, full rim, dime. It says F for fine, might be. Good details left on it. You can still make out the corn and wheat. I think it's wheat. Maybe it's all wheat. I thought there was a corn. Yeah, there's a corn ear over there. All right. We've had our fun tonight. I went pretty long. Yeah, almost any time I buy foreign coins, they're priced at melt. In fact, I think that's what this was when I bought it, was melt. But it's actually made by the United States. But if I buy any foreign silver coins, they're usually priced at melt. I don't know how easy I'll be able to get some out. Show an example. I've got that bag is, there's a Balboa, and there's some of the 50 centavos Philippine coins, and a couple others. All this was priced by weight of the silver in the coins. There's Cuba coins that are 90% in here's a star, the Balboa. That half penny is probably plated. It's not silver, but everything else in here is different varying degrees of silver. But yeah, all this bag was priced at melt, and I was like, well, I want this just because, mainly because of the Balboa. Now that. All right. So I wanted it mainly due to this, the Balboa, half Balboa. It's a 1930. 90% silver. Um, these are, I think, 750 silver. It's a Philippines wartime. Yeah, I've got a couple other ones. One that's like uncirculated, and another one that's slightly circulated. That's 20 centavos. The 50 centavos. I think these are 750. It's a silver coin. That's all I know. I got a couple 20 centavos ones in here. There's a different 50 centavos one that's pretty toned. And then you got the Cuban 1920. It's a 5 grams, 90% coin, 0.900. And it's the Cuban star, which it's kind of neat looking. Then this one, it looks like it says 250 on the coin, if I can get it to focus. Over there, it's a small Cuban coin. Republic of Cuba. Something about un centavo. And then there's a 10 centavos Philippine one in this. Kind of small, about like a dime. But I know this isn't silver, but it was in the bag. It might be silver plated because it's a British halfpenny. It's not silver. And this is probably not silver either. It's a 5 centavos one. But all the other ones are silver, and he said there's a certain amount of weight in between with all these coins, a total weight, and that's what he priced it at, whatever the silver was. All these are varying types of silver coins that was in the bag. None of them are super valuable or rare, although the Balboa was pretty cool. I'm like all over that design because I like that a lot. But that's usually what foreign silver is priced at when I go to my coin dealer, if he has any. He prices it at the melt value. And sometimes he has like a little bag of them like this bag was. And just a little Ziploc bag full of them. I don't remember exactly what it costed, but it was priced at melt, so I'm like, I ain't got much in it, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, I've had a good day waiting to watch a little TV tonight probably, and check out maybe some of the ball dropping in about 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and let you all go and wish you all a good night and a happy new year. And we'll see you next time.